the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Randy Ruther and Joe Praino. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Praino.
Hello, Andy.
What's up, brah?
Oh, a little Thursday evening pod. We won't be able to do these soon because we'll have Thursday night football. Although Thursday night football, historically, a great time to podcast because it's always like Steelers, Panthers, 6-0.
Yeah, we don't want to pod during that.
No, we don't want it, but we might, but we won't, or will we? I don't know. Listen. There's an orange glow in here right now. And a lot of people are like, is that the pink mixing with the blue from the neon sign? But no. Right now you're in the tiger den. I got the Bayou Bengal himself, Mr. Randy Ruther, sitting in on the pod.
Got a couple Miller Lights tonight, Andy. It's going to be 49 nights until the NFL kickoff.
Is that what it is?
40? He knows the number. 49 nights until NFL
until
kickoff.
The first game.
Yep.
And who is that? Chiefs? Somebody?
Doesn't matter.
not Bengals, that's for sure.
Should have been.
I think it's Chiefs somebody.
Dude, we were talking about it on the way up. So Giants Bengals is a Sunday night game in New York. And I'll be in New York, and I was just texting with one of my contacts that's within the Giants organization. And I was like, you know what? I've taken a lot of people to a lot of games. I took the other Randy to a Giants Packers game because she's such a big Packers fan. But I was like, even my nephew, like, is there anybody if I arrange for Justin to stand on the sideline for a Sunday night Giants Bengals game, even if you had to hide the tiger stripes on the Giants sideline, would anybody be more excited than that? I don't think I could find somebody to be more excited than that.
That's why the NFL's king. There's you know why there's millions of Justins out there.
I know, it's crazy. I think about the people, like I was watching it the other day. I was watching Giants Hard Knocks, and I was like, still just like, what are we doing here? Like, this is just a show about the salary cap. This is crazy. And then you go online and there's guys just like jacking off to it. They're like, oh yeah, he's my favorite GM in the league. And you're like, okay. I don't think you're supposed to have a favorite GM.
Justin has a Bengals tattoo.
I know.
Look, I have a Bengals tattoo, but at least I don't have an everyday Bengals podcast that runs year round. I was telling Praino about this.
Hold on a second. Can anybody even hear him? He's just yelling. He's just yelling into the wilderness.
Look, I was telling Joe on the way up here, like, look, I'm a pretty obsessed fan, but there's an everyday Bengals podcast that's on right now. Like they put a podcast out every day.
You're talking Monday through Friday?
Yeah. You know what their category was yesterday? It was how great Joe Burrow's chest looked while he was playing chess overseas. They're like, did you notice how big he's gotten? And then the day after that, I was like, which 3 Bengals are going to be the franchise in 10 years? It's like, Jesus, you guys.
How many of these guys have families? I'm curious.
Not ones that love them.
Yeah.
Or like significant others.
Yeah. Oh, no way they fuck. Clearly.
Right?
If anything, maybe there are guys who like have a wife and they stopped fucking a while ago and they're like, well, guess I'm going to the garage for my daily podcast. I don't think if you're a dude who's talking about Joe Burrow's chest that you fuck.
What was one of the guys? Does he cut hair at Salem Barbershop on Salem Boulevard in Mount Washington? Was it one of the guys who cuts hair at my barbershop? I mean, again, like you know, and I've said this, and I'll say it again. It's funny to me now when people just get angry. I'm talking about sports in general. When somebody like me just gets fed up with something, like, nah, I'm good. I'm cool now on this team for a while. And people are like, fucking pussy. Well, you run away from your team. Like, blah. You're just like, well, yeah, like I got stuff to go on and they don't care about me. So like, why should I care about them? Like I can show this graphic right now. This was kind of a conversation I had the other day with somebody. Somebody was asking me about the Reds. And let me pull this up. I figured you'd like this, especially since the Mets are number one on this, which is no surprise. Where is this thing here? So this graph, Joe, it's a really cool graph. Somebody tweeted out how much money each Major League Baseball team made last year in revenue, so gross, and how much is going towards their payroll this year. So I think it's pretty cool that you can see exactly what's going on here. So we have, can you see this?
I can now. So 2023 revenue, for example, the Mets, who are number one, $393 million. And this year, $342 million is going back to just the payroll.
Just the payroll.
Yeah. So 87% of what the Mets made last year going back to just the payroll again. So that's a $51 million difference.
So I love this. Yeah. This graph, it breaks down the percentage. I mean, the Mets are putting 87% of last year's revenue into this year's payroll.
That's wild because, that means when you take in all the other things that they spend money on this year, they're a break-even team. That's a team that's trying to win a championship.
Exactly. And that's why I'm bringing.
Goal. That's the goal. The goal, if the goal is making money, you look down even at the bottom, even at the Rays. The Rays, there's a $201 million difference. Like, that's a team that wants to make money. Now, the Rays are pretty good at winning too, but that's a lot. That's a huge. It's 4 times the amount.
So what concerns me when I see this, and I know we've said it a million times about baseball with the salary cap, but the salary floor, the salary cap, all those things, it couldn't be more evident in this graph. Because 17, this is what I would propose. 17 out of the 30 teams do not spend at least 50% of the prior year's revenue on payroll for the next team.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of the ballpark where I would put it at. I'd say if I was the commissioner, I'd say minimum it'd be written that you have to spend at least 50% of what you make on team payroll.
Or at the very least, you have to spend X amount on your payroll. And then if you want to make more revenue than that, find a way to make more revenue.
Yeah.
Because then that's just a business model. You know what I mean? It's like when I work at comedy clubs and they're like, man, I'd love to pay you more. I mean, I'd love to pay you more, but, I got rent and I got blah, blah. And I go, sounds like you're bad at business. Sounds like you don't know how to fill a room. The Comedy Cellar doesn't ever negotiate prices with me. The Comedy Cellar is about to buy a McDonald's to put another room in because they can't stop making money. They are out of room to put comedy seats in. So they're going to buy more rooms to put comedy seats in. So when the House of Comedy in fucking Arizona is like, I'd love to pay you more, but you're the only comedy club in town. You're bad at making money. If you have a salary floor, find a way to make money. And you know what? There's teams on this list. Like you look at the Orioles. The Orioles are 28th out of 30. The Orioles are spending 35.4 million or 35.4% of their revenue last year on a payroll. Now, if you're an Orioles fan, you're like, great. We are the best team in the AL East. And we were one of the best teams in baseball last year. Great. Not only are we killing it financially, but we're also killing it on being a good baseball team. Yeah, but guess what? You didn't win the fucking World Series last year, and you might not win this year. If I were the Orioles, I'd be spending a little bit more money and making it a fucking sure thing. I'm glad your young players are good enough to win the AL East with the Yankees and the Rays and the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. Give some random give Juan Soto $60 million, though, and the World Series is probably yours.
Yeah, I mean, again, this thing really puts everything in perspective. Even a team like the Yankees, who last year were number one in revenue, no surprise, $679 million. They're spending under 50%. They're only 18th. They're only spending 46.5%. But my initial point, Praino, was talking about fans and fans leaving and people calling out fans for leaving. I see this as someone who lives in Cincinnati, a lifelong Reds fan, and I say, you guys don't care. Your team that was young surprised a lot of people last year, right? You made a lot of excitement for the city, for baseball. You have a lot of young players. You're only spending 40% of last year's earnings. So to me, you really don't care. You don't care. You don't care. So why should I care?
They do care. They don't care about winning. They care about making money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you look at a team like the Blue Jays, they were only 17th in revenue last year. I assume maybe the Canadian dollar affects all this with them, or the Canadian currency, whatever the hell it's called. But they're number two. They're
and the Canadian currency has no factor on what percentage of the revenue you're spending. It might have a factor on how much your revenue is, but it doesn't have any factor on how much of your revenue you're spending.
Sure.
And so good for them.
Yeah. I just think, again, for me, it's very telling for Major League Baseball that more than half your clubs don't spend 50% of your revenue.
But you look on that list, you even go from the top down. I mean, the Mets are the Mets. It's a different situation with Steve Cohen. But like Arizona's 3. They just tried to win the World Series. They were in the World Series last year. The Dodgers are 4. Or no, sorry, 5. San Diego's 4. Dodgers are 5. Dodgers are going to be in the mix every year. Texas Rangers are 6. They won the World Series. Astros are 7. They're in the mix just about every year for the past decade plus, or decade-ish, 2017, yeah. 8, Phillies. They're leading the NL East. Like this, it's not that hard to figure out how to make it work. Like those teams are trying to win. San Diego's 4. They're fighting with the reason they're spending is because the Dodgers spend.
Yeah, it's really not that difficult to understand.
And then you look at teams like Colorado, the Angels, etc., and you're like, oh, you're just bad at baseball. Like maybe get a new scout. Like,
yeah.
You're like, you're spending more than most, but you're still fucking absolute dog shit.
But the thing you said about the Orioles is really true. If they're 28th out of 30,
the Orioles could very well win the World Series this year.
That's what I'm saying. But they have a lot of wiggle room to even be that much better if they got a dog out there.
Yeah.
On their side. If they paid somebody, free agent, trade, whatever it is. So like this is a pretty telling thing. And then it goes hand in hand with the other thing I saw, which I wanted to bring up, which was, I'll pull this up as well, how each league divides the revenue. This is pretty fascinating. Or I'm sorry, how they make their revenue. So I will pull this up on the screen too. So this is
each of the sports leagues, you're saying?
Baseball, basketball, football, hockey. Check this thing out. It's pretty cool. All right. So it breaks down the revenue of each league and then what percentage of that revenue for the league is TV media
from each of these things.
Yes. TV media, ticket sales, team sponsors, concessions, parking. And again, none of this is going to be a surprise, but it's kind of cool when you look at it visually. So the NFL is by far the king. We know this. 18.7 billion in revenue last year. 66% of that 18.7 bill comes from TV rights. Now, conversely, baseball has the least. I'm sorry, hockey would, but baseball only 26% TV rights, right? The
162 games, so their ticket sales are above national TV and local TV.
Yeah, so ticket sales matter more for baseball. NBA, just like the NBA, national TV rights matter the most, then ticket sales. And hockey is kind of interesting. 44% of hockey revenue for the NHL, which is by far the fourth lowest of the four leagues.
Well, only 19% from national TV and media, because I don't know if HGTV is considered national TV. I don't know if you're watching something on Discovery Plus. If that's national.
But it's pretty interesting, right? Like it's again, it's not surprising. But when you see how it really breaks down.
Well, I mean, and also when you look at the NFL, it's 1% for local TV, 6% for concessions parking, 10% for team sponsors, nothing over 20%. Oh, including ticket sales. Nothing makes them 20%. The entirety of the NFL is Sunday Night Football TV rights, Monday Night Football TV rights, Thursday Night Football TV rights, and the TV rights that they take from a YouTube TV to play, to have a Sunday ticket thing.
Yeah, and that's what I always say. I think people lose sight of that. You take a team like the Bengals who are trying to renegotiate a stadium deal. And I'm always saying, well, I don't want to pay more. Like you already, it's right in front of me. You already have literally hundreds of millions of dollars. People don't even have to show up to the stadium. It doesn't matter.
Not to mention when you look at the national TV media deal, that's all split
32 ways.
Yeah. So every team is making that 66%. Oh, we make this much in concessions. We make that, dude. Who cares what you're charging? Like honestly, you're kind of a dick if you're not Arthur Blank.
Yeah.
Giving out $5 hot dogs when it's 6% with parking. 6% concessions and parking together. To not make to have only 6% of your revenue be your concessions and parking and not make that cheap, you're just a motherfucker.
Yeah. Whereas, baseball and hockey, concessions and parking is anywhere from 10 to 12%.
Yeah.
But again, the margins are so high on the concessions. I really, it still blows my mind that more.
You know what a hot dog costs a team?
Oh, I was just going to say.
4 cents?
It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. I know a little bit about this just from doing work for Gold Star. Like I know their best margins on all their menu items, from burgers to chicken sandwiches to shakes to whatever. Their best margins for food is a cheese coney.
I mean, just imagine this. Imagine being an NFL team and being like 6% of our concessions and being like, hey, we're taking a 6%. This year, we made 6% less in revenue. And they're like, why? We didn't charge for parking or food.
That's actually crazy if you thought about it.
And they're like, oh, so we're now America's team? Yes, we are. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It would only be a 6% drop.
Ticket sales are 17%. Imagine how much you could jump up ticket sales if your tickets, just imagine adding 20% onto your tickets and just saying when you come,
food's free.
Yeah. And parking's free.
Yeah, you're right.
And then people are like, oh, then people will come and eat like 1,000 hot dogs. No, they wouldn't. One guy would. Everybody else would be like, this is dope. It's like when I went to fucking Amsterdam, I didn't like smoke weed the whole goddamn time. I was like, oh, cool. Well, it's legal, but whatever.
It is surprising to me when you look at these numbers, though, that baseball last year, and I'm sure that's going to change with the new NBA deal, but baseball was tied with the NBA in total league revenue. Then again, I guess the 162 games is kind of the equalizer versus 81 games.
Exactly. That's why the NFL is unbelievable. It's like to play 18 games. You're making $1 billion a week.
Yeah, it really is. And poor hockey, man. Hockey getting 44% of the revenue on ticket
Meanwhile,
sales.
if you keep scrolling down, the WNBA made minus 4% on their national TV media deal. They made
they just signed a new deal.
I know. Good. I like that the top comment on that is somebody tagging Dirty Sports. Shout out to that guy. Is that the guy who put you onto it?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was who was that? Sorry, I just put the
Andy, can I get a free plug in here while we have a minute?
Yeah, go for it. That was Zach.
I want to shout out my boys at Bug Assault. This is the dopest shit I've ever owned in my whole life. So I don't know if you know this, but Bug Assault makes salt guns for killing bugs. Also, I don't know if you know this, but this Oxnard area, Port Hueneme, this place is just, like my shed. Every time we do a podcast, I kill 5 spiders during the podcast.
Like big ass ones too, huh?
Big ass, dude. I'm not joking. We have a fucking spider that lives outside the shed here that my girlfriend won't let me kill. That's the size of my fist. It's fucking it's the biggest spider I've ever seen. It looks like a crab, and she won't let me kill it. She's like, it's not bothering anybody. It's not even poisonous. I was like, what if it like jumps on the dog and like suffocates it? Like it's huge. She's like, don't kill it. Anyway, she's cool with me killing the little spiders. Good friends at Bug Assault sent me, you can get, it shoots salt and it kills it. They sent me like 3 machine guns, a couple of them with like laser scopes and whatever. The best thing ever for killing flies and spiders. Like if you're sitting out by your barbecue this summer, get a Bug Assault gun for killing flies. But this thing, the hand cannon.
Let me see that. Yeah.
This is CO2 powered. This thing will take your eye out. I blew up a spider yesterday with it. Like I didn't just kill it. Like it's everywhere. It's like up in a corner, just like gone. This thing's badass.
It was like the submersible. It just vanished. Like all those people when that thing exploded.
I'm obsessed with it. It comes with CO2. It comes with cartridges. It's a fucking revolver. I'm obsessed with things. Shout out to my dude at Bug Assault. Get yourself a salt gun.
How'd you come across them?
So anybody that's listening to this, will like, I'm sure you know it, especially living in Venice. There's a Instagram account called Kook of the Day.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard of Kook of the Day. It was built around like kooky surfers, like guys like driving their car with their foam board sticking out the roof, or like guys going into the supermarket in their wetsuit. It became a massive thing. The guy who runs it, John Wayne Freeman, just fucking most hilarious dude ever. He started this company, and he was like, dude, let me send you some Bug Assaults. And I was like, send it, dude. I was like, I have so many goddamn spiders. I'm just going to be on an arachnophobia spider killing rampage. And I was like, I'll shout you out on the Dirty Sports. And he's like, done. And I've used them before, but this thing, the CO2 powered fucking revolver, I'm now just like dirty.
Do you know what it looks like? It looks like the gun from Jack Nicholson in the first Batman.
No, I'm like I'm like the Dirty Harry of killing spiders.
You know what I'm talking about when he pulls out the gun and he shoots
like,
Michael Keaton's plane. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Every day when I see a spider, I go, you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? And then I explode that motherfucker.
How's it feel when you shoot it?
So good. And you know what? I sent Mikey my haul, and he was like, dude, I have all those. I was like, of course you do. And then I showed him this one. He's like, wait, I don't have the CO2 one. I was like, I bet you fucking don't, motherfucker.
So he already had these. This is kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Dude, one of them has a laser scope on it. And it says, when you're red, you're dead. It's the Widowmaker. It's amazing.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
We get spiders. My basement is just crawling.
You need it, dude. It'll change your life.
Until Isla gets that and she kills herself.
Also, the machine gun one, it's more of like a powdery thing. I've just been shooting the rim of my margarita glasses with it. Salt that shit away. It's a great way to salt your margarita. They're like, what are you doing? I was like, just going to salt your margarita with a machine gun.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been killing them with my hands. It's usually the best way to do it, right? But this.
Game changer.
My neighbor has he has his own little extermination company, exterminator. He should be hawking those when he goes to residences.
Yeah.
Dude.
They do say that sometimes the salt will attract ants, but I'm like, great. Now I just have more bugs to kill. I never knew how much murderous rage I had in me.
One of those you might be able to clip a president's ear with one of those.
I know, right?
I mean, by the way, to talk about this gun, you cut me off real quick. All good. I want to go back. So the WNBA did sign a deal. Their biggest deal ever. It's $200 million.
Wow. $200 million TV deal?
$200 million TV deal, which is up from 140. But the best part is
it's like $6 million a team. No, there's not that many teams.
There's only like 12 teams.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's $2.2 billion over 11 years. And the best part is somebody was complaining, saying they're not valuing us enough.
Unbelievable.
Because the NBA handles the deal.
Right.
They do all the negotiations.
I love that they don't like the NBA is taking less money. Like they don't value us enough. It's like they value exactly enough. That's why they did the fucking deal.
So the current deal, is only actually that's a huge jump. The current deal is $60 million per year. So the NBA owns 60% of the WNBA.
Oh, Justin's got his eye on a fucking spider. See how I'm saying? You don't even have to get that close. Justin just hit him with Justin went suicide style.
That was like execution style.
Dude, he put the gun right. He was like, "Fuck you, dude."
I went and duck hunt on the
dude.
screen.
You could shoot it from like 10 feet away. He didn't give a fuck. There's no sign that Justin almost put a hole in the wall.
The way Justin shot, that was like revenge for the Vontaze Burfict Steelers game in 2015.
It was like duck hunt when you used to put the gun on the screen and follow it.
Oh yeah, duck hunt. That was an OG game, man. That was good.
Yeah, remember the dog laughing at you? It'll fucking go down. You're like, fuck this dog,
dude. Apparently, this is a thing. I got the pump action one.
Yeah, dude.
Clutch around the grill.
Yeah, most of them are pump action, and they're dope. I like, and this is not an affront on the pump action. Like, I have a couple pump actions inside now, and it's fun as shit. But this is next level.
I gave Brittany that pump action this morning. If you know what I'm talking
about. Oh yeah, the Widowmaker.
Holy shit! Unbelievable. So how long is Justin watching the pad?
So we've got a team of people. You know, I leave tomorrow morning for 10 days. Justin's here tonight. We're giving him the lay of the land, and it's gonna be like it's gonna be a real track and field relay situation where the baton keeps getting passed. But Justin's here till Monday-ish when he'll pass the baton to Sam Goldstein, and then Goldstein's here for a better part of the week, like all midweek, And then next week, the baton will be passed to somebody else. So Justin's here until Monday. But I also told Sam, I was like, dude, you're going to love Justin. I was like, I have a feeling like it's going to be a stepbrother situation where Sam's going to get here. And then all of a sudden they're rolling around town in his Prius going to fucking bars and beaches and doing all kinds of shit.
Get Justin. I gotta ask him some Bengals stuff. Can you get him on the mic?
Yeah. You know what? This is a perfect opportunity. I'm gonna go run inside and check in, and
go
Justin
talk
can
to the
talk
lady.
Bengals.
Let me grab 2 beers.
The original Randy Ruther.
What's going on?
You're rocking that beard there, man.
Yeah, I've been lazy. It's all white now.
You look like Tim Allen, like Santa Claus, man.
Okay, yeah. I'll take it.
Take it.
Mhm.
So talk to me here. You said earlier in the show, 49 days till the NFL starts.
We're ready.
You're already turned.
I'm turned. Oh yeah. Do you know me?
Yeah, no, I do. But the text, you really start hitting the text hard, like when the season starts.
Yeah.
So where are you at? Because this is for me as a guy who lives in Cincinnati. This is just my take, and I don't follow the Bengals as closely as you do. But this is my take just from seeing things. Like this is all the cards are in on this season.
It feels that way.
Doesn't it feel that way?
Yeah. Because, I mean, look, we've never had a quarterback like Burrow.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. It just feels like there's a lot of good quarterbacks out there, like Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Like, I don't want to end up. We can end up like a team like that if the season. Because I mean, we're losing people after this season. Like, you're going to lose your Higgins. So it's like the last season that you can have this great quarterback and the supporting staff. Because I feel like we could end up being an average team with a really good quarterback, which I don't want to be.
But don't you think that Burrow's good enough?
For sure.
I would say great. I think he's great that he can turn nobodies into somebodies.
Yes.
You know what's crazy though? I don't know if the organization realizes that.
Yep.
Do you think they do?
No, the organization's dog shit.
Right? Like I think to the common fan, and not even just the common fan, the analyst, most people are gonna all have Burrow as a top 3 quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, some people are gonna pick apart and they're gonna try to nitpick certain things, which whatever. You can do that all you want. I know like Barry McCockner always does that about Burrow in the playoffs, and I'm like, dude, well, he wins. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Did he break up with his girl?
I don't know. Joe mentioned that on the drive up here. I don't know if that's true or not.
That's the rumor around Cincinnati.
Maybe that's why he's a runway model now. I mean, that is the toughest division. It was last year. It will be again probably this year. That's got to be your worry as a Bengals fan because the division's just so damn tough. Like the Bengals play great against the Bills. They play great against the Chiefs, but they just struggle in that division. Yeah, I don't know, man. I hate the Bears for. I mean, look, Fields. He could end up being the Steelers starter, and it's ridiculous what the Steelers got their 2 quarterbacks for.
He said he could be the starter. Shots fired on Andy Ruther right there.
Oh, what are you on board with Russ?
At this point, I don't know what to make. I don't know what to make of it. But everybody, it's funny you say that and you bring up the Steelers. Almost everybody's picking the Steelers to come in last in that division.
I don't think so. I think they're. I don't know if you can be a sleeper team in the AFC North, but I don't see the Ravens repeating the kind of season they had last year. In my half-drunk opinion right now.
I don't either, but I think the Derrick Henry thing, even though he's old and he's got a lot of miles, I think it'll be interesting. I think Derrick Henry could have either a really good year or it's just you're old and you rush for 700 yards.
Yeah. But it's funny when Ravens fans, because they like to do that. They're like, how are you guys going to stop Derrick Henry? I was like, we stopped him when he played for the Titans when he was much better.
Yeah.
So you can take that argument somewhere.
So who would you say personally is your, let's say, biggest rival? Like within that division, who do you hate the most as a Bengals fan?
Ravens, for sure.
You didn't hesitate.
Yeah.
Even with all those years of, like, take Cleveland out of it because the Bengals and Browns just weren't that good for years.
Yeah.
But all those it's no longer Steelers, huh?
They haven't been relevant. So the Ravens, I'll give it to them. They had a great season last year. And it was like, once they had that season, we all got the Praino disease. We keep receipts. And the Ravens kept all the receipts from the obnoxious Bengals fans from the Super Bowl season. And they definitely played them all last year. So now it's like, fuck, now I want the Ravens to be horrible. So
I went to that Ravens Bengals game last year, and the one in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They're tough, man.
Yeah. That division, it's a bloodbath again this year.
How turned are you for that Hard Knocks?
I'm pretty turned. There was a lot of jizz.
You were the Randy Marsh meme when you read the news.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everywhere.
We were talking about that on the way up here when I signed in. You're like, hey, go back a couple minutes.
Oh, that's right. So
Yeah.
so you just taking care of the dogs for a couple days?
What's it? Yeah. Coming up beach weekend, get out of the valley for the weekend.
It's like it's like a staycation for you.
Yeah, for sure. All the Miller Lights I can drink. Dude, I might not leave. I might squatters' rights in the podcast studio or something.
Podcast studio, squatters' rights.
That's what I'm doing.
I bet you California has a law for that or some shit.
That's why I stayed.
Okay, give me a prediction.
All right.
17 games. I know where my head's at without even looking at the schedule. I know they have a softer schedule. Well, give me a record prediction for the Bengals.
11-6.
Ooh.
I want to say 12-5, but because I want to say 12-5, I'll take one more loss than what I was originally.
I was going to say I think they're going to crush the regular season. I was going to say 12-5 or 13-4.
Yeah. It all depends on one man.
Joey B.
Let's see what he does. They say that no quarterbacks ever had that kind of wrist injury, so there's nothing to base his recovery off of.
For real?
Yeah.
Who said that? I didn't see it. I guess I haven't followed it closely.
Yeah, they said that the only people that have ever had that type of injury that he had with that tendon are linemen and stuff. So, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Super Bowl or bust. That's where you're at.
For sure. It's got to be.
Would you give up one of your testicles to win a Super Bowl?
For sure. Take them both. What do I need them for? Just let me keep the sack so it doesn't look weird. Let me look like a neutered dog. I'd do it.
Okay. If you couldn't have sex for 5 years, would you do that in exchange for a Super Bowl?
No sex for 5 years?
5 years.
No. Couldn't do that.
3 years.
I couldn't.
What will be your cutoff for sex?
I don't know. That's a good one. There's only one.
You could go 3 years.
3? No, come on, dude. If there's one thing I like more than the Bengals, it might be sex.
You could go 1 at least.
I will go. I'd give up a year of sex for a Bengals Super Bowl.
Wow, I thought you'd give up more.
Are you sex really is fun?
Are you really a fan, Justin? Are you really a fan?
Yes, sex is a good time. It's the reviews are correct on sex. It's you.
5 out of 5 stars. All right,
dude,
Justin.
Here's a good story for you. You remember what's that place right across from the Whaler that has the real good burgers?
Hanano.
Yeah. I got taken home by a girl at Hanano the other night. She was like, "This is my last night in town. You're a good time." And I was like, "Are you trying to make me your last night mistake?" And she's like, "Do you want to come back to my hotel?" So
Look
Canadian.
at you.
Yeah, Canadian took me home from Hanano the other night.
A little tourist sesh.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than a little tourist session.
No, yeah. And she started snoring when she was sleeping, when she fell asleep. So I just got up and went home and text her on WhatsApp in the morning because that's what you do with tourists.
She didn't even get a real text. You did a WhatsApp.
Yeah, for sure.
What did you text her?
I was just like, hey, I don't like sleep. I really just enjoy sleeping in my bed. Sorry, I left. And she's like, oh, no problem. But it was because she snored.
Where was her hotel?
Right down the street from Hanano. Like, we walked back. Like, she was there for the water and everything.
Oh, so she was really right there.
Yeah. So that was a fun time.
Did you meet her? Were you playing pool with her?
No, she actually just sat down like next to me at the bar and we were like chit chatting and then kept buying each other beers and fell in love.
It's you, dog. I can see you got that Canadian tourist sex energy right now. Look at that glow.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I can see it.
I actually wore a jean jacket and jeans over here, but changed for the podcast.
You give her that tiger dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Justin, always good talking. Is Praino back?
Yeah, he's right here.
All
right. Love you, buddy.
All right. Much love, bud. Look at that. Justin getting a nice little tourist action.
Yeah, there you go.
From Hanano's.
What a great place to pull from, right?
Yeah, I've had some interesting in the past, some interesting escapades there.
I bet you fucking have.
Yeah, I got some funny Hanano stories. But like that's also the type of place where you really don't know what you're bringing back, right?
That's
like,
for sure.
Like that's a dive bar. I know I've shared the one time me and my roommate, we brought back a couple girls and we were so lazy, they drove from there. And I was like making out with one of the back seat.
Let me ask you something. Not to cut you off.
Yeah, go for it.
But just because we have Justin here. You used to drink. You lived in Venice. You lived in Venice for a long time while you drank. Start to finish, is Hanano the best and most consistent bar in Venice? Like, if you had like what would you be it's not like the go-to place, but it's like, it's like Venice's Cheers.
Yeah. I probably still spent more time at Townhouse.
I like Townhouse.
Also, it's across the street.
I always like Townhouse. Honestly, the crown jewel, rest in peace, Sports Harbor. I mean, that was a legendary spot.
It's no longer there.
Oh, dude. I mean, it's 5 places over since you were there.
No, I remember. Actually, I remember when it converted.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like Washington and whatever. Also, Brennan's low-key. Original Brennan's was great. Then Brennan's went to shit.
Is Brennan still there?
Brennan's is still there, but they tried to make it nice. That was whack. What's gone. It's gone. This is probably the most devastated I've ever been about any bar. Cock and Bull. Cock and Bull did not survive COVID.
Steelers bar.
Justin.
I was never a big Cock and Bull guy. Cock and Bull? That's what you're talking about?
Some Irish breakfast, some pool tables.
Again, the food, that food is terrible.
That food was great.
Bro, it's English food. It's British food.
So much cocaine in that bathroom.
There's I'm sure I'm sad. Well, it's funny. My main memory of Cock and Bull, you remember they had a terrible Sunday night open mic?
Yeah.
A guy tried, some drunken English dude basically got in a fight with somebody. It's open mic. Nobody's even listening. There's like 3 people there. And he was getting offended by jokes and he charged the stage. Before charging the stage was cool. I feel like that's a cool thing to do now. Fucking assholes. But yeah. I think you're right though. I think Hanano's the champ because
when you think about Washington, right? The Whaler's so hit me. Like the Whaler, the food sucks, the service was shit. Like
Chicks
good
think
view,
they're so hot.
Good view from up on the thing, but like whatever. Like Cabo, Baja, it's too like, nah, it's like too niche. Then you got like, I mean, really, as far as Venice goes,
It's Hananos.
yeah, Venice Ale House was pretty good. Now there's whatchamacallit, Waterfront, which was Waterfront. Did Waterfront Waterfront already like fucking fixed its shit when you were still there?
The place across from your old apartment?
No, the place across from Venice Ale House. Remember they used to have like German like pretzels and shit like that. They became like a real shishi fucking place, which is pretty cool now, but it's still Hanano to me. Great burger.
Well, you get the cheap burger. You get the big, the big pitchers of booze.
Yeah.
Ice cold.
The only downside was what they love to do, the we don't pay taxes cash only vibes.
Yeah, the cash only vibe. But like that's definitely the type of place where you're meeting like a 6 and she's not gonna make you wrap it up.
No.
Like that's
she's like put some sawdust from the floor on your dick. Hanano, legendary.
Yeah, I might give Hanano the vote of confidence there.
Within Venice,
proper
Venice proper lines, like hard to beat Tony P's if you're gonna watch a game, but like that's a marina, doesn't count.
I don't think I ever stepped foot in there. True story.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my first time recently.
Justin just went for there's like a wall of TV, like 1,000 TVs.
I don't think I ever stepped foot in there.
Oh, it's great. It's good, legendary. I love Tony P's.
Did you guys ever do the comedy show at the warehouse?
That
was the
Did he just ask me to do the comedy show at the warehouse? LG Ross.
My name is LG. It's short for LG.
you know that warehouse show. Talk about that could be hit or miss.
No, that was just miss.
Well, yeah, but it'd be fun because I love the idea, especially now that I'm so far removed from it. Think about how crazy this is. I don't think we really think about it at the time as comedians. You're there for dinner. You have no clue there's about to be a comedy show. Like, let's just think about this. Let me explain this to people listening.
And then he would always give, like, when you would go, he'd give you like 1,000-word email up front. He's like, some people are here for dinner. An occasional curse word is okay. Please don't do a Richard Pryor impression.
But not just that show. LA, people don't realize LA would have comedy shows at places like that where they don't know a comedy show is about to happen, which to me is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
But I remember that show, obviously, because we were close. But one of my favorite memories of that show was my brother and sister-in-law were in town. This is right after the awful Haiti earthquakes. And I had like these women up front and they were just like super PC. And this is like 2010, 2011, Andy Ruther. So I'm just going up there and I'm just, your little bug gun you got. That's me but with like offensive jokes. I'm just rifling. And these women are so mad. And then I just lean in. I don't even know why I lean into just nothing but like Haiti earthquake jokes. And they're just like so offensive. And this woman stands up and she's like, I'm Haitian. This is offensive. And I'm like, well, glad you made it out. How'd you get out of the rubble? And I'm just like, I don't stop.
Early Andy Ruther was a menace.
Oh man.
You know what's funny is the warehouse is the first place that ever gave me like a regular spot in LA. LG started being like, you can come anytime, blah, blah, blah. And even though he was like the first person that was essentially nice to me in comedy, I had to shit all over. Every time I took stage, 3 minutes on with the warehouse. I was like, is this a level on Donkey Kong? Why are there like barrels about to fall on me?
That was a great go-to of yours.
Is this, I'd always be like, is this like a fucking set from Goonies? Like one-eyed Willie sitting up in the corner ready to knock a fucking, pirate ship chest off the fucking ceiling.
And the food there was trash too.
That was awful.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that place stayed in business.
No.
Yeah.
if anybody out there wants to know what the vibe of the warehouse is, there's a great Paul Thomas Anderson movie. I love it. It's maybe the most underrated Paul Thomas Anderson movie, Inherent Vice, with Joaquin Phoenix. When he meets Benicio del Toro out for drinks on the marina, and they have like Mai Tais in like a shitty nautical bar. I don't know if it's technically the warehouse, but it's basically the warehouse. I don't know if they shot it in the warehouse, but they may as well have.
I think the only reason they got people there is because it was just right on the water.
Yeah. And it's like people coming off their boats.
Yeah. And you're like, I don't have many options.
And then there's always like the guy who was too drunk. You know, he was like day drinking rum and cokes on his boat.
Just lit.
I was like, I need more calamari. And you're like, you need to get the fuck out of here, dude.
I think his rule is you could do one F-bomb.
Yeah, one F-bomb. Please don't do a Richard Pryor impression.
You know what's funny about guys like LG? I'm not lying, man. It wasn't that long ago. I'll get like a text or an email from these guys trying to book me, and I'm like, dude, I haven't lived in LA for 4 fucking years. Like,
yeah,
like
Doug James just hitting you up.
we can't go down the Doug James. James, we've done the Doug James rabbit hole.
Yeah. Point at me and nod.
Oh my God. You flood my mind with all these memories. I want to talk about this Brandon Aiyuk situation with the Niners.
Wild.
You think?
I mean, I get that he wants to get paid, but also you get paid by like getting a ton of fucking receptions and a ton of touchdowns, which like Brandon Aiyuk's the kind of guy he's not
even that good. I'm going to say it.
Well, I think he's pretty good, but it's real Le'Veon Bell vibes where you're like, go to the Jets, bro.
Well, you're proving my point. That's why I'm saying I don't think he's that good. Are you that good, or do you have Deebo Samuel, a great offensive scheme, and Christian McCaffrey?
Well, listen, everybody's going to be better if they're not the number one guy that you're worried about, right? I don't even necessarily know if it's like, yeah, I think he's that good, but also, is he good enough to go to a team, be the single guy that they have to worry about, get doubled, and still have it? And then that's like, there's only like, I mean, I would say the history of the NFL, there's like 15 of those guys. You know, it's like, dude, Randy Moss could have played with me, you, and Justin as the other 3 receivers. He's catching fucking, 15 touchdowns a year because he's like, I don't care. You double me, triple me. I don't give a fuck. Like, who cares? But Brandon Aiyuk isn't so good. Like, he's not going to go to there's not 32 teams in the NFL that he's the number 1 receiver on, and he's still super hyper productive.
My point is, I think you could name a fair amount of guys before, at least this is what I would do personally. I could name a fair amount of wide receivers before I hit Brandon Aiyuk, as far as what you're saying, if that makes sense. So like where they're I think of Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson.
I think that the other thing about Brandon Aiyuk that
if they go anywhere, they're going to be great. I don't think Aiyuk is.
He's the 4th option on the team. He's behind Deebo, Kittle, and McCaffrey.
Yeah. So if I'm the Niners, let's play a little game of chicken. I call your bluff. You're not doing shit. I'm not paying him. Why would you pay him?
Right.
Why?
Well, also, why would you pay him? Because you can't pay everybody.
You've already paid Deebo. You've paid Christian McCaffrey. Purdy's going to be coming up for a contract sooner than later.
It's not even a matter of whether, like, they might think Brandon Aiyuk, but they already paid the other guys. You can't be like, you know what? You're right. We're giving you the money and we're taking it from Deebo. That's not how it works. You can't just be like, you know what? All right.
I mean, look, I know he's had some injury issues. Deebo has. But to me, it's a no-brainer because Deebo can run the ball.
Money's already invested there, so it doesn't matter what you think. Like,
no, but I was about to say player comparison.
Right.
Deebo's just more versatile.
Yeah. Listen, I hope the Giants get Brandon Aiyuk. But at the same,
is that like a rumor?
No. Probably because the Giants are like, why? We're not going to pay you. We just drafted a fucking number one that we can pay a rookie wage.
I think he's going to play there. He's not going to. They can start finding him next week. And I think the number is every game if he went full Le'Veon Bell, it's $893,000.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You can give up $893,000. You can give up $900,000 to not play.
I'd play. I'm 45 years old. I would play a football game in the NFL week 1 for $893. Despite the fact that I'd be probably putting my life on the line.
I thought you were going to say $893,000. You went with $893.
Yeah, correct. I'm not going to say $89.30. That's reckless. But for a $893 check, I'll jog out there. I'll see what I got.
You'd be so lit up, man.
I know. And I'm saying I'll do it.
Are you playing with the mustache or are you shaving the mustache?
Obviously.
You're playing with it.
Yeah. And I'm going to get gloves that have the mustache on it so I can be like, oh, like half a mustache on each side of the gloves.
So basically what's going to happen here, they're probably not going to pay him. And they're going to say, you're going to show up. And he's going to do that for another year.
How much is he saying? Is there rumors about how much he wants?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
$893,000. That makes him like a $15 million receiver right now, right?
No, Aiyuk's exact demands aren't publicly known, although it has been reported that the 49ers offer. This is what the Niners have offered him. Around $26 million a year.
That's absurd.
The top wide receivers now are making over $30 million. So he's currently making $14.1 million.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
I'm good at math. People like to forget that sometimes.
I mean, I'd be shocked if he doesn't show up. Especially like you said, with that team and that scheme, and you have all these options, it makes you better. I think he did lead the league in reception or yards per catch, maybe at like 17.9 last year.
Yeah, I remember. What was the dude's name who was this? Was it Alvin Harper?
On the Cowboys?
Yeah. He led the league in yards per reception when he was on the Cowboys with
Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, and who was the tight end? Jay Novacek.
Novacek.
So the only time they had to throw it to the guy who wasn't one of them, it was like a 40-yard catch. Yeah, that's how yards per reception works.
He really lead the league? You're right, he did. And on the 94 Cowboys team.
It's a good pull. It's a good pull right there.
That's a great pull.
Pull of the year award nominee.
That's an amazing pull. Yeah, he only played 8 years in the NFL. On that 94.
I didn't even know his name, but I knew the guy I thought it was led the league in yards per reception.
Listen to this. On that squad, he only had 33 receptions for 821 yards. He averaged 24.9, and the year before, he averaged 21.6. Damn. Alvin Harper.
Good pull right there.
If you can name where he went to college, I'll be.
I didn't even know his name. I guessed his name.
I think I know where he went. I'm gonna look it up. Is it Tennessee? Is it Tennessee?
Louisiana.
Is it Tennessee? Oh, Tennessee. It is.
Wow, good call, Ruther.
I think I have one of his. I think I have some Alvin Harper football cards actually.
Need help selling them?
If you
Is Justin asking me to sell them?
Yeah. On the back of one of those cards, as they have his stats, yards per reception is in bold because that's what he did.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm saying. I'm on Pro Football Reference right now. Did you see the Terrell? Is it Terrell or Terrell Davis?
Terrell Davis, Terrell Owens.
That's what I always confuse. Okay, did you see this United Airlines thing?
I did see that. Yeah.
This is pretty wild. Is there video of this?
No, I don't think so. You know that's the flight attendant was gay as shit too, right?
100%.
You can't touch me. Sir, are you wearing braces? I don't care that you're wearing braces. You're not allowed to touch me.
You know how you know they fucked up? Because they never back down, these big corporations.
Yeah.
The fact that United Airlines apologized and fired the guy.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So for people who don't know about this story, Terrell Davis posted this a few days ago on Instagram. I'll just read what he said. I'm still in shock over the traumatic. Let's try this again. I'm still in shock over the traumatizing events that occurred Saturday aboard a United flight from Denver to Orange County with my wife, 2 sons, and daughter. So this is what happened. According to Terrell Davis. During the beverage service, my son politely requested a cup of ice. The flight attendant either didn't hear or ignored his request and continued past our row. I calmly reached behind me and lightly tapped his arm to get his attention again and asked for my son's cup of ice. His response and the events that followed should stun all of us.
How dare you, sir?
He shouted, "Don't hit me," and left the cart to hurriedly approach the front of the plane. I was confused, as were the passengers in front of me who witnessed
Where's
the
that
exchange.
sexy air marshal? I need you to shoot him with your gun.
He said, "I thought nothing of it other than this particular employee was incredibly rude and blatantly wrong in his accusations of me hitting him. I did not see or interact with him further during the flight." As we landed in Orange County, the pilot asked all passengers to remain seated. 6 FBI. I love how I think this happened the day Trump was shot too. I could be wrong though. 6 FBI and law enforcement agents boarded the plane.
Yeah, faggy bitches investigators.
The FBI agents and local authorities proceeded directly to my seat and immediately placed me in handcuffs while seated and without any explanation in front of my wife and children. I was then removed from the flight while being recorded by multiple passengers as I was paraded off the plane in handcuffs by the officers. So then he goes off how he was so humiliated and how it's so ridiculous and blah, blah, blah. And he talks about what's happened. And then just 2 days ago, United Airlines says, "This is clearly not the travel experience we strive to provide," you think? And
remember when they dragged the Asian guy off the plane by his feet? They didn't even apologize for that.
I forgot about the Asian guy.
That was United.
Ah, you're right. That was.
And you know what's so funny? They didn't apologize for that. They were like, yeah. What happened to the Asian guy? It's like, we killed him. We dragged him off the plane and murdered him. Do something about it. Get fucked. You want a refund? Come at me, bro.
Yeah, they said we've reached out to Mr. Davis's team. Of course you have, because he says, "Give me that money." "We've removed the flight attendant from duty while we closely review this matter." Oh, I bet that dude was just flamboyant as shit.
That dude showed up to the bar that night. He was like, "I guess I'm like fired or whatever. Let's get fucked up."
I think that dude is my neighbor, Gay Greg.
Yeah.
That's Gay Greg. My neighbor, Gay Greg. Which, by the way, if we're going to do plugs, you guys got to check out the new Randy Ruther show. I got some wild, new, juicy Gay Greg updates.
That's so funny. You were like, if we're going to do plugs, I plugged Gay Greg the other day. I caught Gay Greg getting plugged by the HOA president.
Oh, man. I wonder, was there like a meeting? They're just like, gay dudes are like, "We're taking over the industry." Like, was there just like a call to action where they all just said, "We're taking over flight attendants"?
No, I think that was it. The way that I think it's the way it's been the whole time. That just now they're like more open.
No, because it was always women. Because it was like
No, but yeah, there's always there. I feel like there was always a guy mixed in, and you'd be like, I'm going to Gary. And now like people are more comfortable, so they're like, all right, I'll be a flight attendant.
I took this flight. I did a show.
It's like when people are like, oh my God, like the 70s, all these priests started molesting people. It's like, I don't know how to break this to you.
I did a show at Florida Atlantic University.
There was priest fucking kids under candlelight back in the fucking days. Fucking Roman chants were going.
Oh, I don't think it was just priests. I think if you go way back, I mean, do you know like the history of like the Greeks and shit?
Oh yeah.
Like you literally had an 11-year-old boy. It was like a thing.
Yeah.
But I did this show once at Florida Atlantic. So I Florida Atlantic University. So I flew out of, which is Boca Raton, but I flew into Fort Lauderdale. So my flight back, it was Virgin. It was direct from Fort Lauderdale to LA. Anyway, I had this gay flight attendant, and I've been partying so hard. I just didn't want to drink. And he's like,
the only version on this flight's on the tail. You know what I'm saying?
I'll never get this guy he's like, you want a Heineken? And I was like, no, I'm not. He goes, on the house. He goes, I'll give. He was totally hitting on me. He's like, I'll give you a couple Heinekens on the house. And I was like, no, man, I'm good. And also at the time, I was like, yeah, man, I took a little Xanax to calm me for the flight. It's a long flight. He's like, he was like, even better. He's like, you ever pop a Xanny and drink some alcohol? I'm like, dude, what? Like, are you trying to like blow me in the bathroom?
Take a Xanny as a suppository, or you'll be flying.
You ever fly Virgin?
Yeah, well, Virgin's gone now.
Yeah, I know, but they would light up the.
Dude, don't even.
It was like a nightclub in the sky, dude, bro.
At JFK, I've never been more fucking angry. So JFK, one day I was like doing the morning flight back from JFK to LAX. So I'm getting there. I'm getting on like a 6:30 a.m. flight, right? And I'm coming from like Brooklyn. So I got to get in an Uber in Brooklyn at like 4:30 a.m. to get to the JFK at 5:15 a.m. to get on like a 6:15 a.m. flight back then. And I go and I'm Virgin and I'm checking my bags. And I mean, 5:15 a.m. you pull up to the Virgin bag check desk and there's like neon lights playing and Pitbull's going. And it's like, Mr. Worldwide. And I was like, yo, can we just shut this off?
I know.
Like, can we just start like, can we have a hard no Pitbull till 11 a.m. rule on a weekday? I'm like hungover. I'm on 90 minutes of sleep. And then I got on and it's like,
Virgin. If you ever flew Virgin, it was a nightclub.
Yeah. And then you could like message seat passengers. You'd be like, hey, you want to fuck under the disco lights? I'm in 18C.
Oh, that's right. You could message. I forgot that you could message other people.
Justin flew Virgin with Clyde Drexler.
Well, it's funny. He's got a Clyde Drexler. You know that was my only Virgin flight. You know who was on my flight? I think it
Terry Porter. Arvita Sabonis. Kiki Vandeweghe. What 90s Trailblazer was on your flight with you?
Arctua girl.
Duckworth. Was there a Duckworth?
Yeah, that's going to be my next poll. Kevin Duckworth. Kevin Willis.
I think he's dead now. Justin
Kevin Duckworth? Rip the duck.
Kimbo Slice? Is he dead?
Oh, wow. Is he? He's dead. Wow.
Kimbo Slice was on my flight, and I kept joking. I kept thinking in my head what you're saying. Should I just keep messaging Kimbo Slices? Because, like, that's when he was a big deal. This was like 2010, 2011. Like, was he still a fighter then, Justin?
Yeah.
Right?
I can just imagine the Virgin flight attendant when Kimbo's like, I'd like a slice of that, Kimbo. Am I right? He's way hotter than Kevin Duckworth. Jesus.
Kevin Duckworth. Where I'm curious, where was Justin going with
Seattle from LA.
LA to Seattle with Clyde the Glide.
Clyde could, I bet he was flying the plane, man. He's the glide. Yeah. You just fucking hop on his back. He'll glide your ass right there.
Was Clyde in first class?
Yeah, here I'll share the story real quick.
Yeah, the story is, by the way, that Clyde was had a full-on receding hairline at 23 years old, and didn't shave it. He was just like, "I'll go with the Homer Simpson."
Me and my girl were standing in line.
Yeah, hop on.
Me and my girl were standing in line. My ex were sitting in line to go to Seattle to see her friends and family, and there was this couple in front of us, and it was this tall black dude and this girl that had like all Louis Vuitton luggage. And she was like, he must be a basketball player. I was like, that's racist. I was like, that's the most racist thing I've ever heard you say. And she was like, no, you don't understand how much that luggage is. Like, he has to be a basketball player. And I was like, no, you're being racist. Yeah, I was like, there's no way that that's a basketball player. And he turned around and I was like, holy shit, that's Clyde Drexler. And she was like, is that a basketball player? I was like, very few people could guard Jordan one-on-one, and that guy right there is one of them.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, my ex is racist, and
right.
Yeah, she was correct.
I mean, she was right. She was right.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go watch Hulk Hogan on the Republican convention. He ripped his shirt off.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, brother.
Unbelievable. That's hilarious.
He knows the people's champ, brother. Anybody that gets shot in the ear gets up there with his 19-inch pythons, mostly fat, shit his pants, bleeding from the ear, brother. Anyway, who here wants to fuck my daughter, brother?
I forgot about his daughter.
Yeah.
First celebrity I ever saw in LA.
Justin's got all the stories. Sorry, I'm gonna get up again.
First celebrity was her name Brooke Hogan?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Brooke Hogan?
In a weird turn of events, he saw her getting double teamed at Hanano by Clyde Drexler and Kevin Duckworth.
On Louis Vuitton bag.
What is Brooke Hogan up to these days?
I bet you she's gigantic now. Didn't she look like a fat girl just holding it together?
The boy just got another DUI. He's wild.
Nick Hogan.
Yeah, he about killed him.
No, I don't know. I don't think she is.
You don't think she's fat?
No.
Guarantee it.
Her pinned Instagram post is "I chose you, Jesus. Blessed is she."
Oh my God.
Lord.
There we go.
That's her pinned Instagram post. Of all the love, he is the greatest. Happy Easter, he is risen.
Oh, she's fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up something before we get out of here.
One guy never body slam, brother. Jesus. Yeah, brother. Always wanted to leg drop Jesus, brother.
So the Olympics start next week. And I don't know if you saw this, but they're having issues with is it the Seine or Seine River?
Seine.
Neither. Seine.
Yeah.
So it has an E. coli bacteria breakout. And I didn't realize this. This is hilarious. Did you know this? They're supposed to have the triathlon compete in this. And
they're going to swim it?
In the river, in the triathlon, no one has been allowed to swim since like 1923 or some shit. But the river was previously illegal to swim in since 1923 due to pollution levels. But Paris and France, I should say, claim they invested 1.5 billion euros to build a water tank and get it ready for the Olympics.
You can invest anything you want, but I'm not going to stop taking a shit in it. What am I supposed to do? Find a public restroom? I shit wherever. I shit in the Seine. I shit in the Seine. I shit in the Seine. It does not matter.
You're doing a Parisian from 1988, doing the fake cigarette.
This is still the Parisians. We smoke cigarettes. We shit in the river.
I mean, look, man. Joe, why are we doing it in the river?
I know, it's ridiculous.
we're doing a triathlon in a nasty river.
How many fountains are there in France? Just fucking swimming them shits.
I mean, so this is what I wanted to get to, and I wanted to ask you this question. With it being in France and the river, and you're not next to an ocean, I don't know why we don't do the Olympics every 4 years in Greece.
Interesting.
Like, that's my take. Like, I think it'd be cool if it was always in Greece. The original Olympics, right, were in Greece. Everybody knows they're going to Greece. They have the structure. It's already in place. They could actually use it every 4 years.
Such a huge money maker.
But I think a lot of cities actually lose money because they build up all this shit and then it just goes to waste.
Right. But the tourism and all that, I mean, they wouldn't be bidding for these things. It's all government contracts and
But that's my
development contracts. And yeah.
So my take, and I don't know if it's a crazy one, would be do the Olympics in the same place in Greece every 4 years.
Add butt fucking as an event.
When are they gonna start playing football?
So here's the thing about France, though. They added surfing as an event, and surfing this year is going to be at Chopu, which is in French Polynesia. Like, it's going to be thousands of miles.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it's like, do we have to do it in the river, or can we just like
do the triathlon where they're doing the surfing?
Yeah. Like they for sure have roads that you could bike or run on in French Polynesia.
Well, this is also going to be the first ever Olympics where they're gonna come down the river for the opening ceremony. They're not going to be on land. They're going to be in boats.
You're not shit in that river, right? This seems like a bad idea.
So the mayor jumped. The mayor jumped. Anne Hidalgo doesn't sound very French to me. Anne Hidalgo jumped and went for a swim in the river to show that it's safe.
And she's dead now.
I just like, why are we doing this? I don't know, man. I like my idea. I know a lot of people wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
What do you think, though?
I mean, I like it because if you go over there to watch the Olympics, you can buy everything because the Greek dollar is worth 11 cents.
Is the economy in Greece still just a disaster?
I don't know, but
have you ever been to Greece?
No, never.
I bet it's beautiful.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Like I love the Mediterranean, like the Mediterranean countries. When they're not getting bombed out. I mean, they're normally pretty nice, that beachfront property.
It's like Italy with more butt fucking. And olives.
Now, would they do two separate categories, like the minor butt fucking and the legal butt fucking?
They do. I don't know, but there would definitely be a top bottoms category, like gives and receives.
I don't think we've ever said butt fucking this much on a podcast.
No.
How many?
Meanwhile, the flight attendant from a Virgin is like, "This is a great one to tune in for." Actually,
the one from Virgin or United? I've lost track.
Yeah. Kimbo, himbo, bimbo. I don't care. Kevin Duckworth. Let's just all go to Greece.
Kevin Duckworth. Dude, Kevin Duckworth is an all-time random pull. Kevin, this episode, you had Alvin Harper and we had Kevin Duckworth.
That honestly, Alvin Harper, whose name all I knew is the second receiver behind Irvin on those 94 teams, and I did get his name right. Led the league in yards per reception. I mean, that's a galaxy brain pull. Even as
was he number 80? Was he number 80?
1994, even at 15 years old, I was like, yeah, dude, he leads in yards per reception because no one's guarding him.
He was number 80, right?
Yeah, he was.
He had a great mustache too, didn't he?
And he had a great catch. I bet you could find this. Great catch where he's like going out of bounds, like on the sideline, one hand pulls it in. Put it in Alvin Harper great. It was like the best catch I'd ever seen until Odell.
He played in the XFL as well.
Wow.
For the Memphis.
Pull it. Watch this Alvin Harper catch.
Bring up an Alvin Harper highlight reel.
Yeah, put in Alvin Harper one-hand catch. It's like on the sideline. It's like it's a.
Is it against the Niners?
It's the Alvin Harper highlight that's gonna come up.
Oh yeah. Okay. Here we are. Yeah. No, it's against the Redskins. All right. Hold on. Let me pull
This
this
is an
up.
insane catch.
All right. What we got here?
Now I feel like maybe I built it up too much, and it's gonna be terrible because now every catch is insane. But
It's so funny seeing fullbacks.
yeah.
God damn ad. Okay, let's get through this.
I'd love to see how I remember, but like,
whoa. Why do we get to false Henry Winkler?
Yeah, you skipped ahead.
Okay, here we go.
On the sideline. I mean,
Yeah, you hyped it up. Brando, that's like every Sunday in the NFL now.
They're going to show it, though. Watch this. He's like fully extended when he pulls it in. It's a pretty amazing catch.
Harper, who is a 7'2" high jumper, shows you some leaping skills there. Whoa.
Watch it. This is a full extension. Awesome. Look at how he goes up. Like, look at this.
Here. He's got to bring the other foot down.
Dude, this is what I'm saying. This is why I said as you were pulling it up. Dude, at the time, it was like one of the all-time greatest catches. And now, like you said, there's like,
hold on. Look at his stat line for that year so far. You'll love this.
Yeah, 20 receptions for 326 yards.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Let's. I think there's a few more replays. They're gonna show it again.
There's a few more replays because at the time it was like the best catch ever. Like he is full extended though.
Yeah.
Like that's a long, tough catch to go get.
Dude, old Cowboy Stadium, man. That AstroTurf. I mean, he's really. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
I can imagine Aikman in that stadium. Dudes he butt fucked.
How many flight attendants did Troy Aikman butt fuck in that stadium?
Over under Alvin Harper's number.
Yeah. Over under Alvin Harper's yards per catch. Career yards per catch.
You want to wrap this bad boy up?
Let's do it.
All right. Give us a ring. 310-359-8365. That is the hotline. You guys know where to find us.
You can find me this coming Wednesday night if you're on deep on Long Island. You can find me at Poxabog Golf Course, comedy at Pox, Wednesday, July 24th, or you could see me July 26th, July 27th, or July 28th. Yonkers Comedy Club, Yonkers, New York. Is it in the city? No. Is it in Westchester? No. Stop. You're both right. It's in both somehow, weirdly. Come to Yonkers Comedy Club, July 26th, 27th, 28th, headlining. Pizza Star will be on the show. Come check it out. If none of those work for you, go to joepraino.com. I'll be adding some shows in and around New York City while I'm home.
100% I'm titling this episode. Brandon Aiyuk is Alvin Harper 2.0.
Love it.
People were like, what the fuck is that?
I almost said it while you were doing it, and I was like, Brandon Aiyuk is Alvin Harper Spider-Man pointing meme, but yours is better. I like yours better.
Make people think. All right, guys, that's our show. We'll be back on Monday.
We'll be back on Monday. Yeah, maybe a morning app. Let's see how we're doing.
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right. Thanks for sticking with us. You guys have a great weekend. And as always, stay dirty.